Welcome to Monaco, the most glamorous square mile on earth. Here's why people move here. Zero income tax for most residents. No wealth tax, no capital gains tax. One of the safest and most prestigious places in the world. Mediterranean climate and lifestyle right between France and Italy. But it's also one of the hardest and most expensive places to move to. In this video, I will break down step by step how to move to Monaco in 2026, what it really takes, how much you need, and if it's worth it. My name is Alexis. In 2021, I left Germany and became a resident of Dubai. Since then, I've been traveling the world, living in different countries, and exploring where life feels the best, both financially and emotionally. The truth is, the world is becoming more unstable. More and more high-agency people, entrepreneurs, investors, creators are searching for safe places to live to protect their wealth and their freedom. That's exactly why Monaco keeps coming up as one of the most desired options. First, let's talk about why people really want Monaco. It's not just prestige. One of Monaco's strongest draws is the absence of personal income tax for non-French nationals. That's a massive benefit for those generating income globally. Prestige and status. To live in Monaco is a signal you belong to an elite class. The address alone elevates how people see you. Safety, stability, climate. Tiny principality, very low crime, top-tier infrastructure, clean air, access to the French Riviera, proximity to major European hubs. Attractive location. Monaco is perfectly positioned. You are 30-40 minutes from Nice airport, close to France and Italy. But it is one of the most expensive places on earth. Real estate is extremely scarce. Everyday life is premium. You need to bring serious means. For many, Monaco is less about escaping and more about upgrading, relocating your lifestyle, your finances, and your status. Okay, now how do you actually move? What are the requirements to become a resident in Monaco? You must be at least 16 years old. You will need certificates from your home country, countries of residence proving you have no serious criminal record. To obtain a residence permit in Monaco, you will need to show that you can support yourself financially. In practice, this usually means depositing at least 500,000 euros into a Monaco bank, which will then issue a letter confirming your funds for the residency application. These funds must remain with the bank and cannot simply be withdrawn. However, they can typically be invested through the bank's managed portfolios or with your preferred investment strategy. Be aware that for each residence renewal, you will need to obtain a new bank letter confirming that the required funds are still held. You will need an address in Monaco. Either you rent or purchase property. The lease or purchase agreement must typically cover at least 12 months. If you purchase, you will need a notarized deed. If you rent, the lease must be registered on your name. The Monaco authorities will review your documents, your financial history, your background, your stability. They may interview you. If you are from outside the Schengen EU area, you may need a long-stay visa to enter before converting to residency in Monaco. The application and review typically takes several months, sometimes 9-12 months, depending on how clean your paperwork is and how smoothly you meet all criteria. In Monaco, residence permits are initially issued for 1 year and must be renewed annually for the first 3 years. After that, renewals are typically granted for 3-year periods, and once you've lived in Monaco for 10 years, you can apply for a long-term residence card, valid for 10 years. To maintain the permit, you must prove ongoing residence in Monaco, often by demonstrating that you are physically present enough days or your economic base is in Monaco, and maintain your residence and bank account. One common rule is that to qualify as a full tax resident of Monaco, you generally need to spend more than 183 days per year in the country. However, the minimum stay required to maintain your residence permit is typically around 3 months per year. It's important to be mindful of your travel patterns to avoid triggering tax residency in another country. However, Monaco is flexible in assessing center of economic interests if your main business, banking, investments are in Monaco. That can bolster your case even if you don't physically stay every single day. Just renting an apartment is not always enough for tax benefits. Authorities and foreign tax jurisdictions will check your real ties. Also, when renewing, authorities may demand proof of consumption, gas, electricity, credit card usage, etc., to show you are truly living there. Finally, citizenship is extremely difficult. Only after long years of residence with special conditions may one even consider applying. You can bring your close family members with you to Monaco, but there are specific conditions. If you are married, your husband or wife can apply for residency as your dependent. You will need to show your marriage certificate, translated and legalized if necessary. Minor children can be also included. You must prove birth certificates and prove parental custody. In some cases, you may sponsor your parents, but only if you can prove financial dependency. This is less common and requires strong documentation. Let's get real. Moving to Monaco is not cheap. You need to understand the real numbers so you don't romanticize it. Cost of living. According to various sources, a modest lifestyle in Monaco with rent can cost 5,000 to 10,000 euros per month. But note, this is for a relatively modest lifestyle. If you expect luxury, fine dining, premium services, frequent travel, etc., your budget must be much higher. A small modest one-bedroom apartment costs you 5,000 euros plus per month, can go much higher depending on location and quality. Real estate is extremely scarce and pricey. Sometimes prices per square meter in top areas hit astronomical levels. Moving to Monaco is glamorous, but there are pitfalls. Let's talk about what risks to avoid and how to strengthen your case. Underestimating cash requirement. Many fail because they don't bring enough liquidity. Don't just show assets on paper, you will need accessible funds. Property competition. Monaco has extremely limited real estate. Good properties are snapped quickly. If you delay, you lose prime options. Authorities checking ties. They will examine whether your real life is in Monaco, not just in papers. If they see minimal physical or economic presence, permit renewal can be challenged. Foreign tax authorities. Even if Monaco doesn't tax your personal income, your home country may still consider your global income. You must ensure your tax structuring is legal and defensible. Missing renewal, missing documentation, or gaps in residence can jeopardize your permit. Hidden costs. Legal fees, translation, certification, notary, bank fees, moving costs, insurance, all can eat into your capital if you don't budget for them. Cultural lifestyle adjustment. Monaco is small. Social circles are tight. Some people feel isolated. Understand that you move into a high-performer luxury environment. You will be compared. Citizenship is not the goal. Don't expect to get citizenship quickly or easily. It's rarely the aim. Focus on residence, lifestyle, status, and financial freedom. Monaco may be small, but it's one of the most international places on Earth, with residents from more than 140 nationalities. Here is the breakdown of the main groups. Monegasque. Around 25% of the population are native citizens of Monaco. French. the largest foreign community. However, keep in mind, French nationals do not benefit from Monaco's zero income tax due to the 1963 treaty between France and Monaco. Italian, a very significant community historically tied to the Riviera region. British, one of the biggest expat groups, many of them wealthy individuals and entrepreneurs. Swiss, another visible group, often connected to banking and finance. Russian, a noticeable community, attracted by Monaco's luxury life and tax benefits. Other Europeans and Americans, including Belgians, Germans, Dutch, Scandinavians. In short, Monaco is like a global village of high net worth individuals. It's one of the rare places where you will find so many different cultures living together in less than 2 square kilometers. So, is Monaco right for you? It depends on who you are and what you value. It's ideal if you already have online income, global income streams, so you don't depend on local work. Want tax neutrality, optimize your finances. Want prestige, network, belonging to elite circle. Are willing to commit capital and live a premium lifestyle. Want location flexibility, but with a stable home base in a world-class jurisdiction. It's less ideal if you are in early stage business and need more liquidity freedom, can't commit enough funds or can't prove stability, want frequent movement and don't want to be tied down to one place. You will need to show presence. Value simplicity, low cost, small budgets. In conclusion, Monaco is not just a move, it's a transformation. To relocate is one step. To become a Monaco resident with power, respect, and energy, that requires strategy, capital, commitment, and integrity. If you are ready to elevate your life, your finances, your status, Monaco is one of the highest possible choices on earth. But if you are still thinking about moving abroad and creating online income, yet don't know the steps, then check out my proven step-by-step system for building a life where you can live in places like Monaco, not just visit them. I've put together a proven step-by-step system that shows you how to make your first money online and start building real freedom that travels with you. It's called the Alexis Freedom Code, not just a book, but a full starter kit for creating a lifestyle of beautiful bases, spontaneous trips, and work you can do from anywhere. Think of it as the exact roadmap I wish I had when I first wanted out of the 9 to 5 and into a world where my location was my choice. Because the real problem isn't motivation, it's not knowing what to do first, second, and third when you are starting from zero. Most people who dream about Monaco, Dubai, Bali, or anywhere else stay stuck because they try to learn everything at once and end up doing nothing. I went through that phase too, watching videos, saving posts, overthinking, and wasting months on stuff that didn't move the needle. What changed everything was simplifying the path into a repeatable system that starts with your first win and builds from there. That's what's inside the complete Alexis Freedom Code book, the core of the mini course. It walks you step by step through creating your first digital product or service using AI, even if you feel like you have no skills yet. You will learn how to turn what you already know or what you can learn fast into something people actually pay for online. And because freedom needs speed, you also get the AI Freedom cheat sheet and online tools guide, so you know exactly which tools to use for content, design, marketing, and automation. You get the weekly freedom tracker, a 90-day planner that keeps you focused, consistent, and moving forward instead of drifting. And you get a short video where I break down my 3 biggest mistakes, so you skip the stuff that cost me time, money, and confidence. This is for you if you are serious about building location-independent income and want clear steps, not vague manifested advice. It's not for someone who wants a magic button and isn't willing to take action, because the system works only when you work it. If you follow it, you will finish with a real plan, your first income path, and the mindset shift where you actually see yourself as an entrepreneur and creator. The link to the full The Alexis Freedom Code is right below this video in the description. Go check it out now, click the link below, and see you in the next video.